First, I want to talk about this word called conflict. I think all of us go through some conflict in life, especially with other people. Do you guys experience this sometimes? Yeah, dealing with others? Yeah. So I'm going to break down this word for you guys. The word conflict comes from the Latin flagere. And flagere literally means to strike. And con means together. So conflict literally means to strike together. Flagere is where you also get words like afflict, like you want to afflict pain on somebody. And when I think about striking together, I often think about two sticks that strike together. And what happens when you strike two sticks together? Can anybody say? Especially wooden sticks? Fire. Yeah, so that's what happens when we have conflict with somebody. There's fire that's created. But fire is not necessarily a bad thing. Fire can also produce good qualities as well. For instance, fire creates warmth. And maybe you guys have noticed this, that when you have conflict with somebody, but you're able to fully express yourself, and the other person also fully expresses themselves, it creates a sense of warmth. And you actually become closer than before you even had the conflict. You guys have experienced this before? So I think it's important to fully express oneself. And that is one quality of conflict. Now, what's another quality of fire? We talked about warmth. Well, what else does fire do? What is that? It burns and destroys, yeah. So we can definitely burn and destroy each other with conflict. But if we have proper understanding of this word, then we can use conflict to our advantage. There's something called growth conflict. So by having conflicts, you actually grow. And another quality of fire is light. Light is also produced, and light represents knowledge. So through conflict, we can also produce more knowledge. We can understand the other person much more better. And like this, people, I think the problem today is that they feel that they need to avoid conflict. They try to not get into conflict, but actually that creates more conflict. Rather than avoiding, we have to instead learn to express ourselves, because it's because we don't express ourselves that we are feeling internal conflict sometimes. Just like this word depression. This word depression comes from the word deprimer, and that means to press in, to push in. So then what is the opposite of depression, deprimer? It's exprimer, and that means to press out, to push out. So what do you think exprimer means in English language? Expression, that's right. So literally, like science, you can understand how to cure depression. It's through expression. And it's because we don't express ourselves that we oftentimes feel a lot of sadness. And nowadays people are trying to express themselves, but it's very artificial, I would say. They're trying to do it through a text message. But you guys have all experienced, right? You try to express how you're feeling through a text message, words get lost in translation. And even on the phone call, it doesn't do so much justice. We need actual FaceTime. Not like iPhone FaceTime, but like actual FaceTime. But people are having problems with these elements. And even their expressions aren't even real expressions. Like, let's say somebody says something funny to you, and then what do you write? You write LOL, right? But you might not even be laughing out loud. You'll just write LOL. And that expression's not even there. Or what's this other one? ROFL? What does that stand for? Rolling on the floor laughing. Like, are you really rolling on the floor laughing? Like, how can you even text while you're rolling on the floor laughing? So we say these things, but there's a big disconnect with our actions and our expressions. So it's really important to understand this. And what we now have to look at is how to understand this through the yoga lens, through the lens of yoga, through the science of yoga.